The true measure of social sophistication isn't found in grand entrances or perfectly timed witticisms, but rather in something far more telling yet completely overlooked by most people. While anyone can master the art of making a memorable first impression, only those with genuine refinement understand that how you conclude an interaction reveals your authentic character. And by the end of today's discussion, you'll discover why the most distinguished individuals in high society have mastered this subtle art. The difference between charm and genuine class becomes crystal clear when conversations reach their natural conclusion, because this is when social masks tend to slip and authentic breeding shows itself. First and foremost, let's examine how sophisticated individuals maintain their psychological presence even after dialogue has ceased. The common person treats conversations like transactions, mentally checking out the moment their personal agenda is satisfied, but those raised in circles of true refinement understand that attention is a gift that shouldn't be withdrawn abruptly. When an elegant person concludes a discussion, they don't suddenly become distracted by their surroundings or reach for their mobile device while you're still speaking. Instead, they maintain eye contact during farewells, walk companions to appropriate departure points, and demonstrate through their body language that the interaction mattered beyond mere social obligation. This sustained attention creates a lasting impression that distinguishes genuine breeding from superficial politeness. The second principle involves delivering farewells with authentic sincerity, rather than the hurried dismissals common in today's fast-paced society. Those with true social polish don't offer half-hearted waves while backing away from conversations or trail off with uncomfortable silence. They understand that endings deserve the same care as beginnings, treating departures as carefully choreographed moments rather than awkward necessities. When they say goodbye, they look directly at you and offer genuine expressions of appreciation, such as expressing how much they enjoyed the exchange or hoping to meet again in the future. The sophistication lies not in making promises they can't keep, but in offering warmth that leaves both parties feeling satisfied. Now, let me pause here to make something very clear. If you're finding value in these insights into true social elegance, I need you to click subscribe right now and hit that notification bell. These aren't casual observations, but refined principles that took generations of high society to perfect, and you won't find this level of detail anywhere else. Subscribe now to ensure you never miss these exclusive insights into authentic refinement. Moving forward to our third consideration, we must address how truly refined individuals navigate those inevitable moments when conversations conclude awkwardly. Social interactions don't always end smoothly, regardless of one's breeding or preparation, and the measure of true class isn't avoiding these moments, but handling them with dignity. Whether it's an overly prolonged farewell, an unintended physical contact during departure, or an inappropriate response to someone's well wishes, elegant people don't allow temporary discomfort to derail their composure. They might acknowledge the moment with gentle humor, or simply smile and continue with their departure without dramatizing the situation. Their grace under pressure demonstrates that true sophistication comes from inner security rather than perfect execution. The fourth aspect involves the delicate art of appropriate follow-up communication after meaningful conversations. Individuals with genuine social refinement understand the difference between nurturing a connection and appearing desperate for validation. They don't bombard new acquaintances with excessive messages, unsolicited recommendations, or immediate invitations that might make the other person feel overwhelmed. Instead, they might thoughtfully share an article that relates to something discussed, recommend a restaurant that was mentioned in conversation, or simply send a brief note expressing appreciation for the time spent together. This approach demonstrates that they listen actively during conversations and value the connection enough to invest in its potential development. The sophistication lies in their timing and restraint, reaching out when it feels natural rather than forced. Our fifth principle concerns the wisdom of allowing natural space for reconnection, rather than forcing immediate resolution to every social encounter. Many people feel compelled to follow up on every conversation immediately, as if each interaction requires immediate categorization and next steps. However, those with authentic social breeding understand that not every pleasant conversation needs to evolve into an ongoing relationship. They're comfortable with the natural ebb and flow of social connections, allowing time to pass before reaching out again if it feels appropriate. This patience demonstrates confidence in the quality of the original interaction and respect for the other person's autonomy. Such restraint is increasingly rare in our hyper-connected world, making it even more distinctive when encountered. The sixth element involves the sophisticated practice of reflection without descending into counterproductive self-criticism. After social gatherings, many people engage in destructive analysis of their performance, obsessing over perceived mistakes or awkward moments. Refined individuals certainly reflect on their interactions, but they do so constructively, considering what they learned about others and whether they represented themselves authentically. They might note interesting points raised by conversation partners or evaluate whether they dominated discussions inappropriately, but this reflection serves improvement rather than self-flagellation. The difference lies in their approach. They extract value from the experience while maintaining confidence in their social abilities. Seventh, we must consider how truly elegant people resist the urge to over-apologize or seek reassurance after conversations conclude. The impulse to send follow-up messages questioning whether you spoke too much or said something inappropriate reveals insecurity rather than consideration for others. Sophisticated individuals trust their initial assessment of how interactions unfolded and don't burden others with their private doubts unless genuine offense was given. They understand that excessive apologies often draw attention to perceived slights that others never noticed, potentially creating problems where none existed. This restraint requires genuine confidence in one's social judgment and respect for the other person's ability to communicate concerns directly. True elegance means trusting the moment as it occurred rather than constantly seeking external validation. The eighth principle addresses the sacred nature of private conversations and the refined person's commitment to discretion. When someone shares personal information during intimate discussions, individuals with authentic breeding never exploit that trust for social currency. They don't reference private details in public settings, share personal stories in group conversations, or use confidential information to appear more interesting to others. This discretion stems from understanding that trust is the foundation of meaningful relationships, and that violating confidence destroys the very intimacy that makes conversations valuable. Their reliability in maintaining confidences becomes known over time, encouraging others to be more open and authentic in their presence. Moving to our ninth consideration, we examine how sophisticated people conceal any negative judgments they might form during conversations. Even when faced with inappropriate behavior, tedious stories, or poor social skills from others, refined individuals don't allow their discomfort to show. They maintain gracious expressions and attentive postures regardless of the quality of interaction they're experiencing. This doesn't mean they're being dishonest, but rather that they understand courtesy requires protecting others from feeling embarrassed or rejected. If they need to avoid someone in the future, they do so quietly and without making their preferences obvious to others. The 10th element concerns the sophisticated person's resistance to gossip or criticism after social interactions conclude. While it might be tempting to share amusing observations about others' behavior or appearance, truly refined individuals never engage in such discussions. They understand that bonding through criticism of absent parties is a sign of poor character, and that today's confidant could become tomorrow's target. Their conversation remains focused on positive topics and constructive observations rather than personal criticism of others. This restraint builds their reputation as trustworthy companions who can be relied upon not to discuss others inappropriately. Finally, our 11th and most sophisticated principle involves the refined practice of remembering and referencing specific details from previous conversations. When truly elegant people encounter someone weeks or months after an initial meeting, they demonstrate their genuine interest by recalling particular topics that were discussed. They might ask about a family member's college application that was mentioned, inquire about a book recommendation that was shared, or reference a travel plan that was discussed previously. This attention to detail reveals that they listen with intention during conversations, rather than simply waiting for their turn to speak. Such thoughtfulness makes others feel valued and memorable, creating the foundation for deeper relationships over time. The mastery of conversational conclusions reveals more about your character than any other aspect of social interaction, because while initial charm can be manufactured, authentic grace under the pressure of departure cannot be faked. Those who understand these principles create lasting impressions that extend far beyond the immediate conversation, building reputations for sophistication that open doors throughout their lives. If you're serious about developing this level of social refinement, click subscribe immediately and activate notifications to ensure you receive every insight we share about authentic elegance. These aren't common social tips, but carefully guarded principles of genuine high society, and mastering them will distinguish you in any setting you encounter. Which of these principles resonates most strongly with your current social challenges, and which will you begin implementing immediately to elevate your presence in sophisticated circles?